being open about your autism might not be something you feel comfortable with. But in this video, I wanted to talk about how I'm open about my autism, how I got to this stage, and also some things that helped me along the way. So here we go. Well, hello into people, and if you're brand new to the channel, I make weekly autism content talking about autism from my experiences, so if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell. What I've noticed from reading the comment section of my videos is that some people are a bit unsure about how to be open about their autism, or whether it's safe to, or you know, they're just unsure about how people would take the news that they're autistic if they haven't disclosed it before. But during the course of this video, if you find it useful, if you find it helpful, make sure you leave a big thumbs up for me down below. And of course, if you want to share this video, I would highly appreciate that as well. It would be a great help. But firstly, I wanted to talk about some of the reasons why I haven't disclosed my autism prior to me being on YouTube and things. Mainly it's other people's negativity, other people's misunderstandings about autism, which I think a lot of you can possibly agree with. You know, when it comes to the general public, it's not really a topic that people know a lot about. People know some of the stereotypical things, such as autistic people are geniuses, really intelligent, which is true for some people, but some people, you know, that we're not super geniuses. I don't consider myself to be a super genius whiz kid with like a third eye, and I think with the media portrayals and things, this also enhances stereotypes, which for me personally led to a lot of, Andy, you don't look autistic, you're not like my young brother who's 5 when you're 16. The general thing about looking a certain way, which again I think doesn't necessarily help things, because autism is a neurological condition, so it's all the stuff to do with the brain, how we perceive things, how we deal with things, you know, and how we sense things. So really the reasons why I wasn't that open about my autism prior to YouTube was really just the sense of being embarrassed by who I was. You know, I just wanted to be like everyone else. I wanted to be like Joe Bloggs, Jane Doe, Henry VIII. So really my attempts to be normal, it didn't quite work, to be honest. But when it comes to autistic teens, young adults and things, we just want to get on with things. But for me, I just felt embarrassed by it because I felt that my autism was a negative thing to have. I didn't say any positives to my autism because I felt socially awkward in every single situation. You know, I didn't feel like I could stand up for myself because like I would stammer on words and things. I would misunderstand information that was given to me. You know, I'd take things very literally. So I just kind of thought growing up, this is a thing that hinders me from the rest of my peers, and I'm not good enough, you know, compared to the rest of my peers. You know, so I was really comparisizing. Is comparisizing a word? I'm going to make it a word. Comparisizing with other people, which ultimately made me think that my autism was not something to be proud of or to be open about. You might be thinking, Andy, what's changed? Why are you talking about your autism for? You know, why do you talk about autism on a weekly basis? Like, what changed? There was a lot of things that led to me being more open about my autism, but I definitely want to hear from you. You know, if you're open about your autism, how did that come to be? Was it a good experience, bad experience? So what led to me personally being more open about my autism, talking about autism online and things? The first thing was time. I kind of just stumbled from one disaster to another as a young adult, you know, going from job to job and kind of realizing that I was kind of stuck. Like, I didn't necessarily have the skills for work, but also certain types of work made me panic, made me melt down, all of these different things. Even though I was diagnosed as a young person, 5-6 years old, it doesn't necessarily mean that I was equipped for life. When it comes to me accepting myself, it was really a matter of taking the time to accept myself for who I am, which kind of leads me on to the second point, which is really just over time learning to accept myself for who I am. Because over time, over the many disasters I've had in my life, you know, I kind of just came to realize that I was hiding who I was, like the person inside. Over that time, I just started to slowly think, do you know what? Why should I hide who I am? You know, why should I hide the quirky side of me that just wants to play with toy llamas in my bedroom, and I'm 27. You know, why should I hide that, you know, thing about me? Why should I hide my curiosity about things? So really over time I just learned to accept myself for who I am, and you know, if people don't like who I am, then that is their problem. It's nothing to do with me. You know, I can only be me, and you know, if people don't like it, then I can't control that. That's out of my control, and I shouldn't really need to change myself to fit in with other people. That's what's worked for me. It doesn't necessarily mean that's going to work for other people. You know, some people might take the stance that it's a bit rude, that you don't want to change for them and things. I just try to live an open and honest life, and you know, if I'm trying to hide myself for other people, then I just feel really false. I just don't feel like myself. So that's why I'm saying it's just all about learning to accept yourself for who you are and not apologizing for that. The other reason why I'm open about my autism now is really this YouTube thing. The thing that you're watching me on right now. When it came to being open and honest in things, I felt I wasn't being myself because I wasn't talking about who I actually was, or am. But you get the general gist of what I'm trying to say. So I made a video talking about my autism. It's still up on the channel if you want to go and watch it. It was a terrible video, but it just gave me that push to start talking about autism on this channel. But also, YouTube has been a great comfort for me personally, you know, seeing other autistic people talk about their experiences. I mean, highly influential people, Invisible Eye, Connor Ward, being themselves, documenting their own stories in their own ways. But also because I continue to make autism content weekly, people come onto these videos, share their experiences, which is a great thing. It makes me feel like I'm doing something good by helping other people, by just being a person with a Justin Bieber haircut, talking openly, just talking honestly, and me just being open and honest about who I am. It hasn't just helped autistic people, which is the main point of my channel, but the other reason why this whole thing exists is really to educate the general public. You know, people who don't know anything about autism at all, you know, don't have family members with it or anything like that, and you know, really just trying to say to people like, autistic people aren't strange, you know, we don't come with a third eye, unfortunately, we don't like come with an autism card, but it's just a part of who we are, and you know, we shouldn't need to apologize for it, we shouldn't be ashamed. But also because I'm autistic, I'm just talking about my experiences generally. It helps other people understand the world of autism, because when it comes to the autism community and things, you know, it can be a bit confusing, you know, things don't make sense, like what is a neurotypical, you know, what's this, what's that, it's a very confusing thing. If I'm in a situation like that where I've got someone who doesn't know anything about autism and they take something positive away from that encounter, situation, whatever you want to call it, then I've done my job. I've done something positive for that person, but also I've actually done something meaningful for the community at large, because at the end of the day, if we're open about who we are, it just improves understanding. Firstly, it raises autism awareness, but it also makes the idea of acceptance closer of a reality than what we are currently at the moment. But also because I'm being open about my autism online, and I'm trying my best to be more positive and open about my autism in my real life as well, I'm just doing my bit for the future, you know, by just being myself, talking about the things that I do, the reasons that I do them, what triggers me, I mean, in terms of meltdowns and shutdowns and things, which I made a playlist or two about that. You know, just talking about my experiences, about who I am as a person. It just helps other people going forward. It might not help people instantly, but it might help someone a month down the line, 6 months down the line. Like, you could be watching me right now and you've just been diagnosed as autistic and you don't have a clue what any of it means. You just don't have a clue, or you're a parent and you just had a child diagnosed as autistic. You know, it's all about helping the people of the future understand that it's not something to be afraid of, it's not something to be feared, it's not something to be mocked, it's just people being people, thinking a bit differently, but difference is not something to be squalid at. I don't even know if squalid's a word, but you know, just look down on like it's a bad thing. Difference makes the world go around, quite frankly, and we should not be afraid to show it. And that is why I'm open about my autism, and if you want to see more of my videos, there's a selection for you. But if you enjoyed this video and you want to share it, please share it. It would greatly help me out. Leave a thumbs up down below. That would also help as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.